Hello, hello, hello. Happy Money Monday. How is everyone doing on today, on this new start to the week? At least at the time of this, it will be Monday. But I do want to go ahead and say that this is a pre-recorded stream on today, just because of the fact that it is October 13th when you're watching this, and that is a very special day. So there are going to be some things that I have to get done, and I did not want to slight you all and not be, and I just myself did not want to not be able to light someone up this week. So with that being said, this is pre-recorded, but I do hope that you are having a marvelous Monday, that you are starting your week out on the right foot with some encouragement, with some smiles, with some motivation, and just with the right attitude, the right mindset. Because if you set your mind in the right places on the right things, then you are really and it truly setting yourself up for success. So with that being said, I hope that I am getting some good days that you all are having. Hopefully you can put it in the comments that you're having a great day. Now, before we get into this week's lighter, I do just want to talk a little bit about managing our immediate emotions, because this right here is something that is so important and that we oftentimes struggle with a lot, because feelings, emotions, those are things that are just very strong sensations, and a lot of times they can take control of us. And if we are not managing them, then they will manage us. And it's important for us to do so because, not managing your emotions correctly can cause a array of negative things to happen, and can even cause death in some situations. Because when we look at it, just look at all of the different road rage incidents that happen on a daily basis, where someone cuts someone off, and they get angry, they're getting out their car, they're flashing guns, cussing people out, and ultimately someone ends up losing their life, or someone ends up in jail over a situation that could have been fully avoided if we would have managed our emotions in a different way. So this is a topic that is extremely important, not only because of the fact that it can cause, you know, things to happen, adverse effects. It can, sever different relationships. We've talked about that we know we're going to need. And it also causes so many different health issues as well. When you're walking around stressed all the time, or walking around angry all the time because things are happening in your life, then that causes high blood pressure, that causes, you to have all these wrinkles in your skin and to age fast faster. It's just so many negative things that can come about from us not managing our emotions in the right way. And so I think that this is, like I say, very important because it allows for us to be a little bit more mindful of how we're going through different situations in our life. And then it also allows for us to get to the root cause of why those things are happening. Because I know for me, when different things happen in my life, I like to do some observation to see, okay, is this because of something that has happened that I have done to cause this? Is it because life is just trying to teach me something, trying to grow me? Or, I mean, is it because of, it can be several different things that causes certain obstacles to present itself in our life. And I think when we're able to do that root cause analysis to try to figure out, okay, where is this stemming from? It allows for us to, even be able to go through that obstacle a little bit better. Now, I don't know about you all, but throughout this past week, I myself have had some obstacles. And like I say, we pretty much have obstacles on a day-to-day basis. Now, some of them are just, small things, but, if it's preventing you from doing something, then, that you need to get done, that's an obstacle. However, I don't know if it's that life is just trying to teach me different things through these obstacles, or if it's just that I have a heightened sense of awareness. These, different things are always happening, but because we are talking about this and we are discussing this throughout this month, that it has just been, at where I'm just more aware of them. Because it's kind of sort of like when you are looking at purchasing a car, for example, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I want this car, I don't ever see it on the road, I want to be unique with this particular car. And then all of a sudden you start seeing those cars left and right, because your awareness has shifted, because it's now something that is in the forefront or on the forefront of your mind. So, I don't know if that's what is happening, but ultimately I've had some obstacles this past week, and I'm just thankful that I have had the opportunity, because I like when, different things that are being talked about happen in my life, because it allows for me to check myself to see, okay, yes, I'm talking about these things, but am I applying it in my life as well? And so just a quick story time. I was this past week, I was, going through my day, and I already had a lot going on. I was trying to get something uploaded, and it was taking forever. It was a large file, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get this done, and it's like taking forever. So I was like, okay, I need to go pick up some items. So I'm going to leave this at the house and have it uploading. And of course, surely by the time I get back, it should be finished. So I go to, and so I'm already in this place of like being like, okay, I'm trying to get this done so that I can get this done. And I get to the establishment to pick up my items, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting some more. And I noticed that the person to my left has come. They came after me, and they have already left. And then I look to the right of me, and I've noticed that that person came after me, and they've already left as well. So at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I mean, I've been waiting at this point for probably about 20-25 minutes. So I go ahead and I flag someone down, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I've been waiting for a while. Excuse me. And my groceries aren't here. What's going on? And so they were like, oh my goodness, I don't know what the problem is, but for some reason it's not showing on our end that you have been checked in. And at this point, I could have gotten all, well, I showed him my phone, but it's about how you do things. I could have been like, well, I've been doing this, and it, could have went off, or even had my choice of words, just could have caused a scene. Or I could have handled it in the way that I did, which was say, well, I have been waiting for a while, and I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I was not rude to the individual. And he was like, you know what? I'm so sorry that this has happened. Before you can even blink, I'll be right back out with your stuff. And of course, I did blink. I was trying to, like, okay, he said before I can blink, so maybe I should just hold my blinks for a little bit. But I ended up blinking several times and it still wasn't there, which could have made the situation worse. But ultimately, I decided to manage my immediate emotions of, even though I was stressed, even though I was upset, even though I was aggravated and frustrated and all those things. I was like, I'm not going to take it out on this person because it's not his fault. He's just trying to do his job. And, it's not going to make the situation any better for me to do that. It's actually going to make it worse. So I was like, I got my items, went home, and I thought that, okay, I passed that test. Yes, yes, yes. And then I went right into another test where I got home and the video that I was trying to get uploaded, it had restarted. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wait another 30, 45, how many ever minutes to get this video uploaded. And so that just increased my frustration, like, in all over again. It was already here and now it's here. And so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to take a couple of deep breaths, which we talked about on it this past Friday. I mean, these things are very valuable tools that we can implement into our life to really be able to go through our life a lot easier and be able to be a better version of ourselves. I mean, that is what this is all about. So I took a couple deep breaths, and that seems like something that is so simple, but in many cases, that right there is what can be the determining factor between us making a very bad choice or us handling the situation in a good manner. Because a lot of times when we are feeling a certain type of way, we have an obstacle in our life, we end up making other people suffer as well just because we are going through something. And it should not be like that. It should not be where other people are having to suffer because of what we're going through. And that takes us being able to grow and understand that, yes, I'm going through this, but what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to show me in my life? Because I can guarantee you it's for a purpose. We might not understand it, but it's for a purpose. And when we can sit down and really get that understanding, it allows for us to be able to go through those obstacles a lot easier. But I took my deep breaths and, I was able to say, you know what? I don't know why this is happening, but I'm going to go through this calmly. I'm going to go through this and just understand that everything is going to happen just the way that it's supposed to. This hold up, obviously, it's happening for a reason. So it's probably teaching me to have a little bit more patience and to handle when things happen in my life, handle them a little bit better and, be more calm. Because I know for me, when I get frustrated, I can sometimes, because I'm aggravated, allow for that to roll over to how I might talk to someone, how I might talk to my daughter, how I might do certain things in my life just because I'm frustrated. So, and it happens to the best of us. It happens to us all where we go through different things and, we end up being a certain kind of way because of what we're going through. And, it's not good. So that's something for us to just be able to be more mindful of. It's like, yes, I'm going through this, but that doesn't mean that other people should suffer because of what I'm going through. So anyways, I was able to get through that obstacle. I was able to take those deep breaths, and it allowed for me to change my perspective on the situation and be able to get through it a lot easier. And then, of course, I went through another obstacle in my life where this past week, where I went to go get in the car and my AC wasn't working. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is too hot for this. And of course, I had to roll my windows down, which I do often. I like to have my windows down just because I like to feel and smell the natural air. That's just something that I like. But when I do that, I also have my air condition on as well. So this was something that was like, whew, a little new for me. But I am thankful for that. It ended up being a quick, simple, easy fix. There was something else that I was doing on my car that had absolutely nothing to do with my air condition, but it ended up affecting it. And it was just something that I needed to, like, a couple minute fix that allowed for it to, start back working. But as I went through that, I was trying to understand, okay, but why did this happen to me? And for me, it allowed for me to really just be in a place of thankfulness because, my immediate emotion when I went through that was, oh my goodness, I'm hot. But of course, I always like to think that, okay, it could be worse. It could be something, it could be worse. Like, and then my mind also always goes through when something, an obstacle happens, or particularly something bad happens. I always start assessing the situation and thinking about how things could go right, or how, okay, yes, this happened, but it's not going to be as bad as I think it is. I'm going to be able to fix this. I'm going to be able to rectify this. And because I'm going in with that mindset, it allows for whatever it is that I'm dealing with for it to just be easier, because I'm not going in with a pessimistic mindset of thinking, oh my gosh, this has happened. What am I going to do? Like, like something bad is always happening to me, because once you think like that, then things, more bad things will end up happening, because that is what you are telling your mind. And that's what you're putting out into the world. And a lot of times when we have to be careful of the things that we say, because they hold so much power. Like, I'm very big on that. Like, watch the things that we say out our mouths, because they can really cause those things to happen. And even if they don't happen, we're allowing for ourselves to think that way, to think that we are like, just simple things where we're like, oh my gosh, she's so stupid. Like, no, I hate when people say things like that, because it's just like, now later on in the day, yeah, it was just something so small, and like nobody thought anything of it. The person who said it might have thought anything of it, but then you'll start thinking of ways that, dang, maybe I really am stupid. Maybe I couldn't even do that. Maybe I am, so it's just like, it's important, not only what we are saying about ourselves, but what we say to other people. And we might not realize that could be something that they are dealing with already, and now you've kind of just magnified it for them. So anyway, when it comes to managing our immediate emotions, when I was going through that, I really also began to be in a place of just thankfulness, like I said, because of the fact that here it is, I'm going through this temporary situation where my AC isn't working. But as I was going down the road back to when, with the car situation where we wanted a car, and then we start seeing it everywhere. So I'm going down the road and I'm seeing all these people with their windows down, and it looks as if, they don't have air condition. And it just allowed for me to be in a place where it's just like, well, I'm thankful that I'm able to get whatever it is fixed. I'm thankful that, I needed this, because many times we get comfortable and we get like, we forget about the simple things in life that makes our life so much more convenient. Like, many times it takes for us to lose something or to go without something for us to truly understand the and have a place to be thankful for that thing. So for me, I just began to be in that place of just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, this isn't a good situation, but I begin to be like, oh, I'm thankful for the breeze. This breeze feels good. And I think how we go through things, this is the big one. I think that how we go through things, how we go through that thing depends on the outcome. Me being positive about, yes, I'm in this bad situation, but my immediate emotion of not going to this negative, getting in a negative state of being where I'm just mad and angry. Now I'm finna I need to go to the store, and I need to go get some gas. And when I go into the store to pay for my gas, I'm just rude to the cashier just because, oh man, my AC went out. So you need to have a bad day as well. And I think that if I would have done some not always, but when you go and do certain things like that, then what could have been, instead of it being that simple little fix, it could have been something where I had to dish out, you know, a lot of money, or it could have ended up being, something worse. So I think that it is important for us to manage our immediate emotions for so many reasons, not only because of, it severing those relationships and the health issues and causing us to get into certain situations, but also because of the fact that it can determine the outcome. It can determine, it's not about what you're going through, it's how you're going through it. And I've said this before, there's been times that I have been going through some pretty rough things, but I would always just keep myself in a place of being positive. Like, at least I woke up this morning. At least, like, I have food. I might not have what I want. I might not have the steak, but at least I have my peanut butter and jelly. And so when we're able to do this, it God, whatever, the universe, the world, whatever you want to call it, the angels, whatever you want to call it, everyone calls things different. And when I am speaking, I like to be very neutral because of my own feelings towards things, but also because I know that everyone believes in different things, and I am a very non-judgmental person. I think that there's value in everything out there. There's things that you can learn and grow from, but I also I just like to say things in a way to where it is very neutral. But at the end of the day, the world, God, universe, whatever you call the spiritual being that is watching over us, it pays attention. He, she, it, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to say it because it is what it is. I feel like no one truly knows. And I feel like the moment that you try to say that that's where a lot of issues come. To me, I feel like it's a little bit prideful to try to feel like we have it all figured out. Like, no one knows. Like, there's literally thousands of different religions and denominations, and I am just humble enough to say that I don't know. I don't know. And so I'm not judgmental to anyone. I love to listen to, different things. I love to listen to, I love to go to church. I love all these different things. But at the end of the day, I don't know. And I feel like this is the best place to be at, because it it allows for you to be in a place of humbleness. I'm humble enough to say that I don't know. I don't know if God is a man. I don't know if God is a woman. I don't know if God is just a spiritual entity. I don't know. So it's just like, I just try to, I don't know. That's what it is. I don't know. So there's a lot of I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure that we all at some point do have a lot of questions. And with that being said, I think that it's important to just, I know that there is a God out there. So when God pays attention, God, the universe, like I say, whatever you want to call it. Some people, they don't like the universe thing, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm trying to make it applicable to everyone, because this is not something that is yeah, I just try to make it applicable to everyone. So with that being said, God, whatever you believe in, pays attention to our every move, our every action, and how we go through things truly matters. And I think that a lot of I've come out the way that I have come out, with being in a place of really, for the most part, being a very joyful person, being just an at peace person, because of how I have went through things in my life. And like I say, that's something that's very important, and how we manage what we go through, which includes our immediate emotions and past our immediate emotions, that determines the outcome. It determines how long we're going to have to deal with certain things in our life, and how how long we go through certain things, and really what that end is, because all it takes is a snap of a finger for things to change in our lives. I mean, I think that we don't really understand that. Maybe we do, but we don't think about that enough. So for me, I'm always thinking about the best case scenario, and sometimes that can set you up for failure, because you're thinking about the best case scenario, but then something else happens. So then you end up, it could be maybe discouraging at some point. But I rather think about the best scenario and then bring that into my life than to be thinking about, man, it's not going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how this bill is going to get paid. I'm going to be believing that, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to find some money on the ground. I mean, because these things have happened, and I believe that these things have happened because I believe that it will happen, and that it can happen, that it is possible. Something cannot happen if you do not believe that it is possible. In order for something to even begin to happen, you have to believe that uh it can potentially happen. So for me, I think that that's how I think. And when it comes to us managing our emotions, I think we just need to be more mindful, because it can be easy to get caught up in something happening, and then we just lash out, we just do the thing, and then we sit back and think about it later, and we're just like, man, I wish that I would not have done that. But when we can take those deep breaths and really just assess the situation, it can it can help us out. It can really be the determining factor of how things go in our life, and it can be improved upon. So it's never too late to make this week. Like I say, it's Monday. It's never too late to make this week a new start, a fresh start, and to begin changing some things in our lives. That's what it's about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into, I did not mean to go this long, but I get into talking about certain things because I want to be clear about different things, and I want to just ensure that I'm saying things in a way to where it is clear and hopefully concise, and not offensive to anyone, or that anyone doesn't think any kind of way. But at the end of the day, people are going to think the way that they want to think, and that's completely okay, because we're supposed to have we're supposed to think that the way that we want to. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into this week's lighter. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's get myself out of the way. All right. So congratulations to those of you who have made it on this week's wheel. I saw some individuals that they got noticed from my point of view. So I went ahead and put those who interacted with our weekly spotlight post and did all of the different things. I put you on twice, and then I also added some other individuals that have shown their face in our community. So thankful and grateful for you all. So let's go ahead and spin this wheel and see who this week's lighter is going to be. All right. It is Mrs. Javonda. So congratulations to you. Yes, congratulations. Let's go ahead and see what you are going to be going home with on this marvelous Monday. And I'm trying to tell y'all before we do this, y'all better get in. If you share, I'm sorry, if you fill out, even if you don't share the post, even if you don't do any of those things, you can literally just fill out the shine signal, and that gets you a place on the wheel or an additional place on the wheel. And that's something that literally takes about 10 seconds of your time, but it can yield you incredible dividends by being a recipient of a community appreciation credit. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and spin this wheel and see what Mrs. Javonda is going to be going home with on this amazing day. All right, congratulations. That is an additional $30 in your pocket. That is a good old lunch or a couple of good lunches, depending on where you go. Or it can be some gas in your tank or whatever you feel lights you up. So, congratulations to you. We are truly, truly just honored and excited to be able to do what we are doing here at Inspire with Indy. And the goal is to go higher and higher and higher and higher and be able to do more and more and more. And this is just one of many ways that we are giving back. And, the support and engagement or whatever, that's nice as well. But like I say, it is a much, much deeper purpose behind why we are doing what we are doing here at Inspire with Indy. And as time progresses, I'll really be able to share some things, and it's going to be good. It's really going to be exciting. Not sure exactly how we're going to navigate through all of this, and because it might become soon where we are so busy to where we might have to make some changes. There might be some changes that comes in the next few months, but we are just going to go with the flow, and however we do it, we're still going to be giving back and really just being a blessing to those who so will want to join in on Inspiring with Indy, or like I say, it might be in a different way that we are doing things, but we most definitely will be doing some things. So, with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you all for your time, your attention, your listening ears. Hopefully, something has been said throughout this afternoon that has given you some clarity, some understanding, and hopefully, it also just allows for you to be able to not look at things from a negative point of view, but to see it from a positive point of view and just for what it really is. And, I just want to leave you all with there's nothing like when you really gain knowledge. Many people just take certain things and run with it, but there's nothing like, I'm just going to say that there's nothing like truly gaining knowledge, because it allows for you to see things from different perspectives. And when you're able to do that, it's a game changer, and it allows for you to go through life differently and from a different place. And most of all, and most importantly, to understand that our purpose for existence here is to walk in love. It's to walk in love. It's to walk in love. And that is what I'm here to do. That is what my mission in life is to walk in love and to go beyond just the borders, to break the barriers, and to be me unapologetically. And being me unapologetically means that I walk in just being me and being non-judgmental, not judging anyone. Certain things are not right, to certain degrees. We understand that, but I think that when we get down to the bottom of why people act the way they act or why people do the things they do, the key is understanding. And when you're able to understand things, knowledge, because what is knowledge without understanding? And so when we have knowledge as well as understanding, it just allows for us to see the world differently. And I hope that we all can be that way and not look at anyone any type of way because of how they might go about doing things, the things that they might say, how they say things, and just have that knowledge and understanding. And that's where I'm just going to leave it at that right there. Have knowledge, have understanding, and walk in love. You all have a great rest of your night, and I look forward to seeing you all on next week. You all take care. I guess I should end it. See you all next week.